Feeling like an imposter, feeling like a fake, feeling like a fraud is one of the most debilitating things that any professional, any entrepreneur, any businessman, anybody, in fact, can face on their journey to make their dreams a reality. It's really difficult because you've got all of these, you've got enough enemies outside. They want to see you fail. And then to have internal enemies that are also trying to knock you down, an internal voice that's telling you you're not good enough, that's telling you you're a fake, you're a fraud, you're an imposter, that you can't do it. This is a recipe that's going to lead to failure. And so in this video, I'm going to share with you what are the 5 things that you need to change in order to actually really, for real, get rid of imposter syndrome. What do you change at a neurological level? The brain is a magnificent thing. It's a fantastic thing. And the best thing about the brain is that it's plastic. It's got neuroplasticity, meaning it can change. Hi, my name is Jay, and over the last 5 years, I've been helping ambitious people overcome the invisible forces that keep them stuck in life so that they can unlock a level of peak human performance that can help them achieve their dreams. I love what I do, and I'm going to take you on a roller coaster ride and explain to you how you can permanently get rid of this. So let's get right into it. So when it comes to imposter syndrome, right, there are 5 things that you need to change. Okay, I'm going to try to make this as simple as possible. So for somebody who doesn't have a background in psychology or anything like that, don't worry, you don't need anything like that. I'm going to explain to you what are the 5 things that create this in the first place. So number 1 is how you see yourself as well as the world around you, right? So excuse my drawing, but how you see yourself and how you see the world around you. So more than how you see, it's actually how you store. What is the way that you represent the world around you, and how do you represent yourself in relation to the world around you and the world in relation to yourself? So let me give you an example of that, because the reason I have this set up is that it's just far easier for me to explain things in the visual format. So imagine this is you, okay? And these are your eyes. I don't know if you can see it on the video, but I've just drawn like 2 eyes, right? And you're seeing the world, right? You're seeing the world around you. And when you see the world around you, you also store that world in your internal world. This is your internal representation of what the hell is around you. And then when you think of something, you don't actually think of the world. You actually go inside your head and you start looking at this, all of this stuff, how you've actually stored the information, right? So when I ask you to think of the world, or I ask you to imagine something, you're going to see inside your head. Try it right now. Think about somebody that you respect, somebody maybe that you have a lot of admiration for, and just imagine this person and just ask yourself, how do you see this person? Somebody that you believe is the kind of person that you want to be, right? That you wish you were. And so when you think about this person, you have an internal representation of that person. Now, chances are most people who are going through imposter syndrome are looking at their internal world in this way. So now we're in the internal world, right? So I've just zoomed out, right? And I'm kind of zooming in to your internal world. And so this is you in your internal world. This is how you see yourself. All right? And probably this is how you see other people. And it's not that you see yourself as, like a miniature man, but it's kind of like that. You're seeing other people as much larger than life than you see yourself. And so this, how you see yourself inside your own head, is a huge thing. Because imagine this, that you're here and you're thinking of another person. Maybe you want to speak to, maybe you have a client that you want to go and close. And you look at this client as this amazing, successful businessman that you're trying to get business from. You walk up to this person, and in your head, this guy is such a huge guy. He's got so much money. He's achieved all the success. He's got 25 years of experience. Here's you with maybe 5 or 10 years of experience or whatever. Or maybe you've got the same amount of experience, but you say, hey, son, I've not made enough money. He's made so much more money. He's so much more successful. My God. And you build this huge, big image of this person. How are you going to feel about yourself? Are you going to feel like somebody who can add value to this person's life? Are you going to feel somebody who is on equal footing with this person so that you can actually give him something of value? It's going to be very, very, very difficult. It's going to be very, very, very difficult for you to be able to do that. So how you see yourself is extremely important, right? And most people who are suffering from imposter syndrome, they have this internal representation of themselves versus other people, themselves in relation to other people. And if you don't change this, you'll never change this. So what's the second thing that you need to change? Well, the second thing that you need to change is your internal dialogue. So what the hell do you say to yourself? Are you saying to yourself things like, I bet that they're making fun of me. I know someone is watching this video on the other side is going to make so much fun of me. Like, you look at this idiot with long hair and glasses, and he's trying to explain how to not be an imposter. At the time of this video, I have like 200 subscribers, and this guy is going to show me how to avoid imposter syndrome. Like, really? Is that the kind of internal dialogue that you have? Is that how you're speaking to yourself? So your internal dialogue is extremely important because it's going to control your internal state. So imagine saying stuff like, I bet that he's making fun of me in his head right now. Or I bet that they make fun of me behind my back. Oh, this guy doesn't think that I'm qualified enough. I'm sure he's thinking I'm not educated enough. Or, if somebody praises you, do you ignore the praise? Do you not own it? That's another way that people say, oh, no, don't praise me. Like, imagine, has this happened to somebody that where you go say, you know what? You look beautiful today. And he's like, no, I don't look beautiful today. I'm not. Come on, like, I'm not, So you push praise away. You push validation away. So, try to be too humble, right? Not accepting when people actually say good things about you. Versus, when it comes to something negative, do you take that to heart? Like, I know somebody, she's such a beautiful woman, and she's got such an amazing, powerful, compassionate, loving character. When I talk to her and I give her any compliment, and a genuine compliment, because I mean it, I don't say things I don't mean. I mean it. And she will say, stop saying nice things about me. You're always saying nice things about me. I'm not, to be honest. I say nice things like once in a blue moon. It's very difficult for me to actually give praise. But for her, she doesn't see it that way in her world. And so whenever I say nice things or I praise her or I give her a compliment, she can't handle it. On the other hand, if someone were to say to her, hey, the clothes that you're wearing today, I don't know about that. Or, I don't like the color of your nail polish. Or if your nose looks crooked, she'll go insane. She'll go ballistic. She'll go crazy. Even though she's such a beautiful woman, even though there's so many men who would die to be with her. So there's this disconnect of how she sees herself and the reality of the world. There's a disproportionate weight given to anything negative versus anything positive said about her. And so your internal dialogue, right? What are you saying to yourself is going to be a very big part of how you feel about yourself when it comes to feeling confident and feeling like you can do something versus feeling like a fake or a fraud. And then there's also stuff like saying, I always mess things up. I always screw it up. Why do I even try? People always dislike me. People always don't like me. So these sort of conversations that people have internally are one of the biggest reasons why imposter syndrome starts manifesting in the first place. So that's the second thing that you have to change. Now, the third thing are your subconscious limiting beliefs. So we all know what limiting beliefs are. I think they're a bit overblown in the self-help community, but at the same time, I'm not talking about the stuff that is a limiting belief in your head. I'm not talking about that. Remember when I said I work with people on their invisible forces that keep them stuck in a loop in their life, that keep them stuck in a pattern that gives them a lot of pain in their life? I'm talking about the subconscious stuff, the stuff that's below the surface, the stuff that you're not aware about, the stuff that's invisible to you. And so this is the real killer, because when we are young, as we're growing up, things happen to us. You could call them defining moments. One of my mentors, he calls them a defining moment. I think it's a great name. Another one of my mentors, he calls it an impactful moment, right? It's an impact. Something happens and it creates an impact on you. And that impact leads to a belief, a rule that you have set in your head about the way the world functions. So I'll give you an example of one that I had for a very, very, very long time, which is that success has to be earned through hard work. And when I say this, maybe some people on watching this video, you could be somebody who says, yeah, that's right. Success, of course, it has to be earned. Like, yeah, you have to really, really work hard to be successful. And then, there might be other people watching this video, they'll be like, no, success is not, you don't need to work hard and work crazy always to be successful. So there's which one's right? Which one is it? Which belief is true? What if I were to tell you that the belief that's true is the one that works for you? So ask yourself, if you're somebody that you believe you've achieved the level of success that you've always wanted, if you're comfortable in that area of your life, you rate it a 8 or a 9 or a 10 out of 10, then fine, whatever belief you believe is working for you. But most likely you're watching this video because you're struggling in some way and you're ambitious. You want to reach here, but something, and you're not able to figure out what the hell it is stopping you from getting to that level. Maybe you've achieved some level of success, but it's not what you thought you would get with the amount of work that you've put in. And that's because you've been lied to, you've been had. Because success is it's got nothing to do with the amount of hard work that you put in. Not that I'm saying that having a good work ethic isn't a good thing and that it won't contribute to success, but is it the only ingredient? Is it the deciding factor? In fact, are there exceptions? Like, are there people who are successful who don't have that belief, that who really genuinely enjoy their life, go on vacations, right? Some people look at people on Instagram enjoying their life and they feel hateful against them. Like, oh, they must have a lot of money or they must have money from somewhere. And that's true for some people, but there are others that have actually done it. And your belief that people who show a good lifestyle online are actually fake, they're faking it, that's actually holding you back. So your belief system, your subconscious belief system, will color the entire world around you that you see. If you wear a red lens and you walk around in the world, everything in the world will appear red. If you wear a blue lens, everything in the world will appear blue, right? And I'm not saying that one is better or the other is worse. All I'm saying is that, is it useful? And if it's not, then you have to change your beliefs, your subconscious beliefs, the rules that you use to look at the world. And so over time, we start seeing these patterns forming in people. So I'll give you a pattern, right, that perhaps you felt. This is a very simple pattern, all right? You can call them patterns, you can call them associations, right? In a simple way, if you've done some basic level psychology, you know what the meaning association, what the word association means. And if you haven't done psychology, you can understand what association basically means. One thing that is connected to another thing. So when one thing happens, the other thing also happens. That's what association is. That's it, right? So these patterns, or let's call them associations, can be really dangerous. And the reason for that is, if you're somebody who sees success, right? Maybe you've gone and do something, let's say you've gone and spoken in front of a group of people, and somebody comes up to you and gives you a compliment, like we talked about earlier. And your internal dialogue goes, no, that's not true, because you have a limiting subconscious belief, right? This thought that you've had creates a feeling in your body that makes you feel like a fake, makes you feel like a failure, makes you feel like contracting back into yourself. So this feeling in your body is that of an imposter, is that of a fake, is that of I'm not good enough. And so this feeling, right, the feeling gets associated with, let's call it success, or you can call it praise, or you can call it anything good that happens. Like I remember when I first started out in business, there were days where I used to work like a dog, because one of my limiting subconscious beliefs was that I had to work really, really hard to make money. It's not true, but that was one of my limiting subconscious beliefs that I rewired. That actually, and until I rewired it, I never really saw financial success. So one of the things that used to happen to me a lot was, whenever things came easily, whenever I made money easily, sometimes you sit down with somebody and you explain to them everything about how you can help them change and rewire their mind, and the training that you've got, all that stuff. And especially when you're new and you really, really want to, so eager to help people, and you wonder why the hell are you not doing it, like, and they won't do it. And then you meet somebody else and you say, what, I help people enhance their human performance by overcoming the invisible forces that hold them back. They're like, oh wow, that sounds really interesting, I really need that. Okay, I'm in. How much do I have to pay? How much do you charge? Done. Here's the payment. And I would be like, what the hell? That can't be real. Like, that's because my limiting beliefs wouldn't let me believe it. So I would feel like I've not deserved it when I didn't have to struggle for it, when I didn't have to work hard for it. And so success, gave me this feeling of not being enough. Success gave me this feeling of not deserving it, of being a fraud or something. And the problem is that feeling then again, made me feel like I didn't deserve the success. So I sometimes in the initial days, I would push success away because I felt like I didn't deserve it. So basically what I'd done is I had associated success with a negative feeling. It's crazy how the human mind can learn anything. It can learn to associate success, money coming into your bank, as with a negative feeling. That's how the brain can work. So these patterns, these associations need to be broken. They need to be changed in such a way where you can have almost the opposite pattern as well, because why not, right? But you could have the exact opposite pattern of, when you fail, you get a feeling in the body of positive energy. And that's how I've reprogrammed myself now. That whenever something doesn't go well, I now look at that and I say, what could I have done better? And it excites me because now I have got the exact information that I need in order to do better next time, right? So that's how I've relearned and retrained my brain, and that's what you need to do. And so the last thing, and really the most important thing, and if you're here, if you watch this video all this time, I just want to acknowledge you, because most people will switch the video off, I've seen, in the first minute or 2 minutes. They don't have the attention span. The fact that you're here and you've stuck along all this while, it says something about you. So I'm going to offer you something at the end for free to come, because there's this resource that I'm building that is going to help you with all of this. So that's my little gift to you. And I'm going to, in fact, let you know one more thing. Let me reveal to you what number 5 is first. So the number 5 is this little thing that is our identity. And so the identity is basically the big umbrella under which you have everything else. And so the little secret that I'll tell you right now is that if you can create a shift at this level, then you create a shift in all the levels going up. I mean, you can create an intervention at this level, at this level, at this level, at this level, but the identity level. Because if you are somebody who's going out there and doing all the things right, meaning you're putting in the work, you're putting in the action, let's say, you're a content creator, you're making content, you're a businessman, you're cracking deals, you're putting in the work, you're making the phone calls, you're doing everything that you need to do. But if you have an identity of a person who is not deserving, if you have an identity of a person who feels like a fraud while you're doing it, there is no way that you will give your 100% peak level human performance. You will not be extraordinary, and the result is going to be anything but extraordinary. Most likely, it's going to be just average, probably below average. And this is the reason why 99% of businesses, especially new businesses, entrepreneurs struggle. Because somewhere deep down, there's this identity mismatch of behavior that says, I'm succeeding, but the identity says, I don't deserve this success. I don't deserve this money. Right? If you're somebody who struggles to ask for money, for example, when you're doing sales, then chances are that you don't believe that you deserve the money in the first place. If you feel hesitation asking for something, believe that you don't deserve it. And so the identity shift is the single most powerful thing that you can do to beat the imposter. And in the next video, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to break this down, because this is a vast topic on its own. I'm going to show you in that video what your identity is built upon, why it is the way it is, and really why probably imposter syndrome, when you come face to face with that feeling, the feeling that you hate, you're probably so close to breaking free from that fake mask, that fake identity that you have that's holding you back, to actually breaking through and finding the real you, a greater version of you. So if you like this video, I would say you subscribe. I'd say you put on the bell notification, because I'm going to be putting that video up very soon. It's going to be a fantastic video. You don't want to miss it. And of course, go to the description below. I've got a masterclass and a community and a whole bunch of other resources that will help you beat this. It's called The Greater Self. It's fantastic. I've really put my heart and soul into it, and I work on it harder and harder every single day. This was a fantastic video to shoot. I really enjoyed it. I hope it was useful for you, and I will see you on the next one.